Hello, are you ready to do some lettering with your ScanNCut? Well, that's what we're going to work on today. I'm Reva with Quality Sewing and Vacuum, and today we are going to look at the built-in lettering in your ScanNCut, and we're going to do it two different ways. We're going to do one way on sticker vinyl and one with heat set vinyl for shirts. So hopefully I can do this quickly. We'll see. I could take forever, you never know. But if you don't know what a ScanNCut is, this is a cutting machine that is digital, so you can input, and let me go back home here and get us back to the beginning. So you can input in your own designs or use the built-in stuff, and there's tons of built-in stuff. There's titles and names, and well, not names, but words, and then there's borders and decorations and all sorts of things that are built into the machine, and you can even buy more patterns for the machine. So you never have to connect it to a computer or use a USB stick, but you can, if you make your own graphics, you can use those as well, because it can read an SVG file, which is a graphic file that if you are anywhere in the crafting arena with graphics, you know exactly what that is. So it doesn't take photographs, it takes SVGs. Okay, so we're going to work with that today. So the first thing I want to show you is, this is just an example. It's not a there we go. It is not from the built-in letters, but I just wanted you to show you kind of the idea of something you can do with the sticker adhesive. So this is, I cut it out on the ScanNCut, and then I put it onto this thermal little swig cup. So that's kind of fun. So what we're going to do today is, I got this cute little frame, and it's just an acrylic frame, but I thought it'd be really cute to put the pup's name on it. And so we're going to do that today. So we're going to walk through that sort of thing. So what I wanted to do is have, you see the bottom portion here is white, and I wanted to put my print over that, so that way it's not over the top of the puppy. So what I first want to do is measure it and find out the size of the area that I have to use for the print. So I have 2.5 inches by 8 inches is that full area of the white. Now, am I going to do a full 2.5 by 8 inches? No, because I want to have a border of white around it. I don't want the letters coming right to it. Okay, so let's go to the ScanNCut. So now on the ScanNCut, you have a couple of different things here. You have, this says scan. So if I have, this is the cool thing about the ScanNCut. We talked about the cutting part, but you can have an image that you've drawn or a stamp that you've stamped, and it will cut it out. It's so cool. So that is a cool function, but we're going to go over here to patterns, and we're going to choose a pattern. In the pattern, you have, on this particular one, this is a ScanNCut DX, the 330 DX, and it has Mickey Mouse, it has standard patterns, it has shapes, it has titles, borders, alphabets, as in lettering, frames, and these are single letters. You have quilt patterns, so you can actually do your quilting in here, and then you have applique patterns, and you have other fun decorative patterns. We're going to go up to the lettering. Now, the difference between this lettering and this lettering is that when I choose this one, it is an A, and then it is a B, and then it is a C. In this, this is text, and if I type in A, B, C, it's one word, not 3 individual letters. So we're going to go into the words. Now, the pup's name is Daisy. So I'm going to come down here, and I want to find a cute font that I want to write Daisy in, and I am going to choose, I think this one right here. Isn't that sweet? So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to just type in the word. Now, I do have in this bottom corner here is how I can change whether it's uppercase or lowercase. So I put in my capital D, then I'm going to go D-A, I can't find my letters, I-S-Y. That spells Daisy, doesn't it? Okay, upside down, you never know. And then I'm going to touch OK. And now it is in the preview screen. You can look at it, you can change the size there, but I'm going to change the size later. Okay, so I'm just going to set it. And then here it is right here on the screen. and it's really small. Let's find out what size it is. You can count the squares. Each square on the screen is an inch, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go to Object Edit, and here is my resize button, and I'm going to touch that, and then I'm going to take a look. Somewhere it tells me the size, and I can't see it from here. Well, anyway, oh, it's here in black. Let me see if I can see it on the screen. I can see it on the screen. I just can't see it when I look at it. There we go. So this little guy is 3 inches wide by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to make it bigger a little bit, and I'm only going to go to, let's say, oh, I'm going down, aren't I? I'm pushing the wrong button. I'm going opposite. Let's go up to 1 3/4. I think that would be good. There we go. That's close enough. And then maybe I want to make it wider, because what's my width? It's only 5 inches. So now to go wider without the height going with it, I'm going to touch this button right here, and that will separate them. So then I can just continuously make it wider. And I have 8 inches, and I said I wanted to have a little bit of a margin around it. So I'm thinking about 7 inches, or maybe just under 7 inches is what I want to have. And see how my height is staying the same, but now I've got this really cute, well, that's good enough for me. Now I'm going to say okay to this, and I want to get this centered on my mat. Not that I'm going to do it there, but I want to do that so I can place my next word. So I'm going to come back, and here you see the 4-way arrow. That is my move. So now when I do that, there is, which you cannot see very well, but there is a tiny little red X right in the very center of my my word. So I'm going to use that and look at it until I get it right on top of my center line right there. So now I know it's centered. Now let's bring in a different word. And I'm going to come in here and say okay until I get back to this menu, and I can use the phrase add to add another pattern. Now you can add from the pattern menu, the menu from the machine, or you can retrieve data that you've saved previously. So we're just going to go in here to the patterns. We're going to choose our letters again, and I am going to choose this font right here, and I'm going to type in GOOD space girl. GIRL. She's a good girl. And then I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to set it into the space. Now, this is so much bigger than the name is, right? So I want it to be below, but I'm going to come in here to edit and object edit, and now I'm going to go to my resize, and I want to make this smaller. So I'm going to make it smaller till the width is about the same as my daisy, right? And what is my size there? It says 7. Oh, we're really close, aren't we? I'll make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to make it shorter. So I now want to take this and make it kind of smaller. Now you can do it however you want. I'm just doing it visually, so it's how I want it to look. Then I'm going to touch OK and OK again, get back to my move, and then I'll be able to see my little crosshairs there, and I can move my second word right into place, and then I'm good to go. So now I'm going to say OK, and then I'm going to say OK again, and then I'm going to say okay again. Well, actually, let's go back. I'm going to go back because I like how these are placed together right here. So I want them to be grouped. So I'm going to touch the group button, and I'm going to say, oh, that's not the group button. Let me back up. Let me go back to edit, and I want to object. There's my group right here. That's my group. I want to grab everything and say okay. So now I can move it as a unit. So now let's talk about what size we have. We have, well, actually I'm too big, aren't I? Because this is 2 inches and that is 1/3 inch. So I'm going to need to change the height, and I'm going to do it as independent. So I'm going to come in here and let me undo that, touch off. There we go. And let me see what happens when we move that up a little bit more. I might need to change the size of my daisy because she is just too big. And it's okay to do this. This is what you're going to do. You're going to play with it and you're going to figure out how you want it to work. And then I'm going to take the size down a little bit, because we want to stay within that 2.5 inches, right? And okay, and maybe I want to go back to this one and I'm going to change that, just the whole thing a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to move that one up. And we're still at 3 inches. Look at that. We're doing so good. Daisy's got to get smaller. Daisy's just too big. And then you can know that pretty quick because, like I said, each one of those squares is 3 inches. So we know that we are too tall. You know what? If I make this quite a bit smaller, I could probably even offset it a little bit. Then my little Y would have fun hanging down below. What do you think about that? Do we like that? I think I like that. Okay. Grab my good girl. Come on, good girl, there you are. And then I'm going to say okay, and I want to move that one. Let's see if I can move him over. Okay, I think that's good. Now I'm going to go in and I want to select everything again and say okay. And then I'm going to, let's move that into position, but I'm not going to do it yet. So I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just over 7 inches. We should be good. Okay, so now let's take a look at our mat. This is a standard mat for the machine. Let me hold it up so you can see. It is a purple mat, so it is sticky, and the purple mats are the standard tack mat. So I'm going to take off the little clear cover. Now the thing with the clear cover is don't lose it and don't let your cat get on it, right? You don't want it static. It has a lot of static in it, so we don't want to get the static all over the place. So I have a cute piece of pink vinyl here, and I want to measure it. It is 3 inches by 10, so I know it is fine as far as size. And I'm just going to set it down on the mat here. Let me get my little air bubbles out of there. Don't know why I have air bubbles, but I do. I'll just move them to the edge. Okay, let me get my squeegee, and let's just get rid of those air bubbles. There we go. Okay, and this also does make it nice and firmly mounted to the mat. Now, the mat, we're going to slip in, and it's going to go in between the two little, there's little edges right here. And when you put it in, just hold it, and you're going to push the load button, and it will load the mat for us, which is pretty cool. Now, since the machine has the ability to scan, this is really cool. You're going to be able to take a picture of what's on the mat so you know right where your vinyl is. So when we say okay here, and we get to this screen right here, this button is going to allow us to scan what is in the hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and scan and let it take that picture, and then this way we know that we're going to get our words exactly where we want them to be. Now, if you keep your the cover, the little clear cover on the top of your mat all the time when you're not using it, you're going to find that the mat will last a lot longer because it is not going to get lint and fuzz all over it. Okay, so let's take a look at the top down here. So here are my words, right? And they are separate. I'm going to go back and make them whole again. And here's my pink fabric, or my pink vinyl. So I'm going to come in here and select those again. And then we're going to just drag this right up into the pink area. And then we're going to say, yep, that's great. Okay. And then what we're going to do, you would save it if you want to save. I have 2 of them. It didn't go, did it? Did it not go? How crazy is that? Let's try that again. Move it up here. Did that work now? It's in the right spot, right? We all see it? And then, okay. Aha, shoo! You know, the secret, the fun times of being on camera. Okay, so now we've moved it up there. And if you wanted to, when you say okay, you can save this. So if you wanted to use this same design again, you could save it. It would go into memory and we're good to go. But I'm going to say okay. And then it wants to know, okay, what? So I'm going to go in here, touch that, and I'm going to choose cut because I want this to cut. Now, if you notice in here, there's cut, draw, emboss, and foil. So you have other choices in here. It also does piercing, it does rhinestone, it does all sorts of things, but we're going to just cut. Okay. All right. So now it does have a test. It's always good to test, and I'll show you how that's done. But the one thing that we want to do is when you're working with sticker material like the pink that's on here, it has the sticker material and then it has a paper backing. You don't want to cut through everything. You only want to cut through the sticker part. So you want to come into your settings and you want to come and choose half cut. Half cut should be on. And we can turn on a weeding box too. That would be great because then it will, you'll see what happens. It will give us a nice clean spot that we can remove from the vinyl. Okay, so now I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to say test. Now when you touch test, it is going to give you the preview of where things are, and it brought in a very tiny little little triangle. Let me see if I got to put it down. I'll come back. I got to see him where he is. Oh, he's over here. Okay, so this little guy right here, I want to move on to, come on. I'll move it this way. Haha. We want to move that onto our material, but not in the spot where it's going to be cutting all the fun stuff. So now I say start. So with start, it's going to come in here, and what the machine is doing is it first senses how thick the material, the mat is, then it goes and it senses how thick the material is, so it knows it can do a half cut, and then it's going to do a little test cut for me. Okay, so now here is my, where is it? Here it is. Here's my little test cut, and let's see, it should be good because of that. Look at how nice that came away, really nice and clean. Okay, so that is good to go. I'm going to get rid of that piece, and now I'm going to just go ahead and say start, and now it's going to start cutting our design. So as this is doing this, we're going to get the next item ready, and that is this right here. We're going to come in a little bit tighter on this so you can see what this is. This is a carrier sheet. So when you do an item like this, you don't have to place each and every letter exactly where you want it to be because the machine's already cut it out that way. So we're going to use the carrier sheet to keep all those pieces together, so then we can use that to put onto our item. Okay, so I have my scissors here, I have everything that I need, and it is, let's see, seriously, it says 17 minutes. We might be here a while. Who knew? It's just a little bit of a thing. Okay, so we'll just keep going. Wow, 17 minutes. So how was your weekend? Okay, so are there any questions so far about the ScanNCut that I can answer for you? Because I am happy to do that. Okay, so type it in the questions if you want to. Now, another thing that you can do both with sticker vinyl and heat set vinyl is you can do multiple colors, and then you can layer them one on top of each other, which I had planned for the next piece, so we'll see if that happens or not. Okay, so now the sticker vinyl, you see, was really easy to do because it is just one. The sticky part is away from you. So we're able to cut it out just as you see it. Okay, how long do we have now? 16 minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's being very methodical. It's going to do such a good job. Okay, we have a question. Let's see what that is. I missed what blade I'm using and which mat. Oh, okay. I am using the purple mat, which is the standard mat. And then I am using the light blue blade, wherever he is, right there. And that is the vinyl blade. The vinyl, and that's a really great question. There are some just basic blades. The one that comes with the machine has kind of a black top to that, and that's the all-purpose blade. And then you have the light blue blade, which is the vinyl blade, and it is designed to get into smaller letters and smaller crevices with that. Okay? Then the next blade is kind of like a beige top to it, and that is a fabric cutting blade. So each blade has a different angle to the point and a different thickness and a different shape to the blade itself. So the standard blade, sometimes it's called a thick cut blade. So just keep those things in mind. It's going to do a better job on the thin things with the vinyl blade. Okay. All right. I hope that helped. Okay, how deep is my cut? Good question. I have no idea. This machine has an auto blade system. So it's different than the original ScanNCuts. So when it started going, it went down and the blade touched the mat. Then it went over to where the test cut was going to go, and it touched the mat. And so it could tell the thickness difference. And I asked for half cut, so it cut half of the distance of the difference it saw. So if you're on an older ScanNCut where you dial up your blade, you want to make sure that the blade is exposed only the amount of thickness you wish to cut. So if I'm working on this material, I would want to make sure that my blade is only half that thick. So it'd just be peeking out just ever so slightly, right? And those ones are not as easy because we're in control of the blade there. I love having the machine do it for me. Okay, so that is kind of the cool thing. I think what we're going to do, since it's going to take like a hot minute to finish cutting, I think what we're going to do is as soon as it's done cutting, we're going to start working on the cut for the next thing that I want to do so I can show you how that works. Okay, and then we will apply, so we're going to do in steps. We'll cut this one, then we'll do the next one, let it cut, and while it's cutting, then I will show you how to apply this one to the frame. Okay, does that sound good? Okay, all right. And what is that? Do you use this vinyl blade for both the adhesive and the HTV? Yes, I do. So the heat set vinyl, I do. And then I didn't see what that last question that you popped up there. It says, does the machine tell you which blade to use? Actually, it does not. It does not. So here's a good way to know if you're using the right blade. If it doesn't turn out, try a different one. That's just kind of the way it goes. But again, if you're using fabric, do the beige blade. If you're doing vinyl or small letters on vinyl, use the light blue one. Everything else can pretty much be the black blade. I would say too, if you're doing small letters on paper, you might find a better success with the vinyl blade, but try it in the all-purpose blade first. Okay? All right. Let me see. Is there anything else that is on there? No. Okay. All right. So when I love my ScanNCut, and I use it for a lot of different things. I'll use it just for the built-in lettering, for using numbers, putting numbers on things. It's really cute. Oh, my daughter did the cutest thing with the vinyl, with the sticker vinyl. So she likes Star Wars, right? So she took and she made these little teeny tiny little Star Wars things. It was probably that Walker doohickey thing. You know, I'm not a Star Wars. I enjoy it, but I don't know them. What are they called, Chris? Oh, an AT-AT? Okay, I don't know. Yeah, the little guy, the big, you know, it was on the first one in Star Wars. Anyway, she made those and she put them on the inside of her windshield. So they're walking up the sides of her windshield. It was really stinking cute. Oh, look, we're done. Okay, so now it's done cutting. So I'm going to eject the blade of the mat by pushing this button, and it will pop that out. Now we're going to go back to this main camera because I want you to see when you're taking the vinyl off or things off your mat, don't peel up your stuff because you might crinkle your thingy. You can bend the mat backwards and then you can get your thing off. Okay, just know one thing to note. This mat has been used a couple of times, not many, but a couple. When you first get a standard tack mat, sometimes it's really tacky, and so depending on how tacky it is, your paper backing might it might stick to the mat. So you might do a couple other things first. But what we're going to do now will not, let me grab him. I got to find where I put him. Where did I put him? You're going to be able to stick the heat set vinyl on perfectly fine. Now we're going to come back to the sticker, right? This is for shirts. So your vinyl for shirts has two sides, a shiny side and a dull side. You see that? This will end up being the right side. This is the wrong side. Don't be fooled though. The shiny side is a carrier. So it goes down. It goes face down onto the mat. Wrong side goes up when you're working with heat set vinyl. So here's my pink. Shiny side, not shiny side. Shiny side goes down. Okay? So now I've got the cutest little granddaughter. I know yours is cute too, but you know, seriously, you haven't mine. So she's the cutest. So I'm going to load this in, and I got to say okay because I'm finished cutting, but I'm going to load this mat in, and there we go. We got both colors on here. And so now what I'm going to do is, if you take a look at the screen, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to touch the house button because I want to go home. Okay, so now I did pre-start this process. So I'm going to go to retrieve data, and I'm going to go into the machine, and I'm going to go to the last page because I just did it earlier. I put in this. It's going to say a little dirt don't hurt. How cute is that? She's a muddy little thing. I tell you what, she loves being outside. So I'm going to say okay, and we're going to go in and we're going to grab, we're going to add, and we're going to add letters, and we're going to come down here, and I wanted to grab, which font did I want? This one right here. And I'm going to choose it all lowercase and say, I'm going to put doesn't, so it's not don't. No, maybe I'm going to do don't. I had to think about it for a minute. So let me find where my N is, and let me go to my punctuation. Is it in there? Nope, I go in here. There we go. There's my punctuation. And I got to go back to lowercase, don't, T. I'm upside down and backwards. Space and hurt. Okay, so now I can say okay to that, and okay and set, and now it's got that right here. A little dirt don't hurt. Okay, so now these two are lined up, so I'm actually going to take the dirt and move it up a little bit because there's a lot of space between those two. And then let me choose him, and he's over. Get them aligned, and let's take this one, and I'm going to say okay to that because I want to come in here and make this one a little bit smaller in height, and then I want to make it longer in length. There we go, and okay. And then I'm going to go and say move that, and we'll move that one into position and move him over. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to say okay to this, and I want to say okay again, and let's put, what's my overall, let's see the overall size. Let's choose that and pick that and say okay, and let's see if I can see the size. Sorry, I have to do this because I can't see the screen. Well, we'll count. That's okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 by 5. Is that okay? I think that's okay. I think that will work because let me show you the shirt we're doing. I should have showed you that first. We've got the shirt here. So 8 by 5 will fit on there well. And I have the heat press and I'm going to need to turn that bad boy on. So let me turn him on. It's at 350, that should work. And then I'm gonna set that. And I wanna take it up to, let's see, I'm gonna take it up to 30 seconds. That should be fine. Okay, so we'll get him warming up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say okay, and I'm gonna save this. Okay, and so there's a good question is why am I not using the alignment tool? And the reason is because I'm upside down and backwards and I probably can't find the alignment tool. Okay, so there is but that's a good point. There is an alignment tool. It will do left, right, and center justify. But again, I'm sitting back here behind the machine. So we're lucky I can spell. Well, any given day, you're lucky I can spell. And then I think there was there another question? What brand is the heat press? This is the Singer Momento, and it's really pretty cool. It is an automatic machine, and it is one of 3 that we have from Singer. This is the smart press, and it does everything for you. You're going to see that it actually will, when it heats up, it lets us know, and then when we put our item down, it will put down the proper amount of pressure, and then it will raise itself up automatically. So if you're a multitasker like most of us are, you won't leave it down too long. Okay, there are handheld ones, and Momento has a handheld. It's like a little press it's a square, and you set it down onto the item. It comes with a pressing surface too, because you don't want to do that right on your counter, but you want to add a little bit of pressure there, and you're going to be doing the counting for the time. Okay, all right, so back to this. I am going to save it into the machine. Okay, and then it's saving, and now I want to, I'm gonna overwrite my old one, right? Because I like this one better. We squished it down. It's going to be a better fit. So I'm overwriting that last one that we used, and it's saving it. So now when it's done, if you take a look, it says it's saved. It gave it a name, and you don't get to pick the name. It chooses the name, and then we say okay. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take, and I'm just going to get rid of, let me go back. I need to go back. I need to go to edit, and I'm going to ungroup our little pieces, take that off, and I'm going to take our dirt, and I'm going to delete our dirt. We could move it and do things like that, but I am just going to delete the dirt. Now what I'm going to do is take and choose both of these items, and I am going to, actually, look at that. I don't think they're not quite aligned. Let's go in here, and we can go into our alignment tools, which are not on because I'm upside down. There they are, but they're blue. They're grayed out. I can't use them here. So select 2 or more patterns. I thought I did. Okay, that's fine. Thought I did. Did I not? All right, I don't want that. That's not what I want. I'm just poking at stuff I can't see. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to just manually move that guy over then, because I want him to be in the same position as the other name, the other word. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I want to select them and make them a group, and then I'm going to come into Object Edit, and I'm going to group them together so they're one unit. Okay, and then I'm going to move them down here because my pink is at the bottom. Now I'm going to say okay, and OK again, and add, and I'm going to go into retrieve data, and I'm going to go to the machine, and I'm going to go to the last page, and here it is right there, a little dirt, and then I'm going to say OK, and now I'm going to choose that word and edit, delete it, and this word, yep, and this word, and delete that, and now I have my words separate. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the fun part, and we're going to say OK, and we're going to scan the background so we know where all of our colors are, because we have two different colors on the mat. So we have the pink and the gold. I thought gold, isn't that kind of nice for a dirt color, but it's a little bit more schmancy than just, you know, brown. So we're going to do gold dirt, you know, that's pretty fun. Anyhow, her favorite thing to do is they have a gravel pile that they're going to spread, you know, when here in spring. She likes to go out and dig for dinosaurs, so it's kind of fun. Okay, so now here we have this, and there's our item here, and I think I'm going to have to I have to look, people. I have to look. I am going to take, I'm just making it, but I'm going to go to edit and choose, let me see, choose this one and go to edit, and I want to move that up just a little bit because we are really tight on that bottom line, but we're good now. Okay, and then the dirt is fine. I'm happy with the dirt. So I'm going to say OK, and then we're going to go OK again, and OK again, and now we can select what we want to do. But we can't just do cut, can we? No, we need to go, I'm going to go back. Is there a back? We're going to cut, but I'm going to go back because we need to mirror image everything because we're cutting from the back side. So in edit, we're going to go to object edit, and we're going to choose mirror image. And then we're going to say OK, select this one, and then go to object edit and mirror image that one. So if you're working with stickers that you're going to put on something, it's right side. It's just what you see is what you get. But when you go to do heat set vinyl, you are going to need to mirror image it because the adhesive is on the back side. So we're going to say cut, and then we're going to come in here and add a test in there. And since we were working with it before, let's make sure, yep, our test is out of the way, and then we could just touch start, and it's going to come in, and we still have it on half cut, so that's perfect, but it's going to come in here. It tests the thickness of the mat, then it goes and it's testing the thickness of the vinyl, and then it's going to cut the little test cut. And so then we're going to come in here, and with my lighting, where is he? I know he's here somewhere. There he is. And that's a rough job. So let's go to the overhead. I want to show this. I don't know, can you see that little white corner? Oh, let me see. Can you see? See that little white corner right there? It pulled. It did not cut well. I don't like how it cut. I want to make sure this cuts clean. So I am going to say test again. And now I can come into the settings, and I'm going to up my pressure one. Up, I guess it's all the way. So cut pressure, manual blade. Nope, we got that one. You know what? Maybe, I'm trying to think. What would I do? Would I turn the half cut off and decrease the pressure? No, that doesn't say. You know what? I think maybe we'll just hope for the best. Blade automate. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do this really quick. This is how easy it is to change the blade. I'm going to look at the blade and make sure there's no goobers in there, because there might be goobers in there. So I'm unscrewing the top, just taking a look at the blade, and I'll put the blade cover back on. Just make sure the spring and everything is in the right spot. the flat side of this goes back to the back. You just drop them in and close them up. And let's just we will do another test cut. I will move him to a new location and we will see what we get. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Okay, so let's try that test cut again. And then you probably notice that I'm using a weeding tool to get the parts we want to get out of the vinyl. That's very valuable to have a weeding tool. Okay, so now where did he go? It's so hard to see the color. Nope, I think I need a new blade. Nope, he does not want to cut. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I am gonna come in here to settings and I am gonna turn off that half cut and we're gonna fly by the seat of our pants and see what we can't figure it out. So I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the pressure down quite a bit and we're gonna say okay. And let's move that guy to a new spot and try it again. And if this doesn't work, we're going to fly by the seat of our pants and figure this out. And it might just be a lesson on placement. Okay, we'll see what we get. All right, so he's cutting that little guy. Oh, that looks better. Let's see how he did. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so because there is that carrier sheet on there, so we don't want to cut that. That cut beautifully. So we're going to say start, and we're going to start working on our vinyl over here. So we got our sticker, right? So we want to get this sticker that we made here onto here. Now we did a couple of different things on here, and I want to show you the first one, and that was that we added a cut line for weeding, a weed line, and I'm going to take this off so you can see that. See how it's now just right there. Maybe, do you want me to do this here? I can do this on top of this. What about this here? And then you can kind of see maybe what we're doing here. Look at there. Okay, so now, what's it doing? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, people. I turned it off. Okay, all right, fine. All that, and I turned it off. Okay, so let's talk about this. So since this is turned off, and I don't know what I did. Oh, I might have hit the power strip down there. Turned everything off. Did I turn everything off? Maybe I did. Okay, all right. So let's can we get right here now that I messed everything up? We're going to talk about stickers today, people. We're going to make stickers. Okay, so now what I have is I have Daisy, good girl, right? And then I have the area around it that I don't want. And if you're in the garden and you don't want something, you weed the garden to get rid of what you don't want. And it's the same thing when you're working with heat set vinyl or you're working with sticker vinyl. You're going to weed what you don't want. Now, this comes back in on itself. The G goes that way. So pulling away from it doesn't work as well. So sometimes if you just change the angle that you're going, it will do a better job. Now I'm going to go back and get my G's, or maybe I'll come from this direction and I'm going to work this way. Up. My L started to come off, so I'm going to use my stylus to make sure my L stays in place. So roll the vinyl back, not just lift it. My I also wants to kind of come off. So we're going to roll that back. Come on, you can do it. I got all kinds of craziness going on now. You would think that it was April 1st. Seriously. My D is now off. I'll show you how to put them back on. It's fine. Oh, and my G is here too. This is great, guys. I think this is fabulous. You know what? Actually, this really stuff does happen all the time. Okay, so now if we take a look at our letters here, I have my G. You can see you might not be able to, but when you're up close, you're going to be able to see the etching of where your pieces go so you can get them placed back down. Now this one needs to rotate just a little bit. There he goes. This one's off a little bit because he lifted too. Don't you know, usually this does not happen. It only happens because we're together, right? Okay, and I'm going to get rid of the inside of the D because I have the D over here and I don't need the inside anymore. Okay, so I'm going to set him down. Whoops, he's upside down. How did I know it was upside down? Because he was sticking to my thumb. That's how. Okay, so over here we go. And then set that down. And now I'm going to continue weeding by taking out the insides. So I come at an angle and kind of scoop out the insides. Just like that. And then the daisy. Okay, now I have another challenge. Is I'm missing my O. My O is in here somewhere. I got to find my O. There she is. Oh, thank goodness I didn't mix her all up. Okay, so we're going to take that. Are you guys at least having fun at my expense? I sure hope so. Okay, so we're going to come and set this down and almost perfect. All right. Okay. So there is that's our sticker. Okay. So now what I want to do is take a piece of my release paper and I need it to cut about here because I don't need that big of a piece. But what we've done with our sticker is we have removed everything. We've weeded out everything we don't want. And now what we can do is go down with our sticker paper. So with your sticker paper, you pull it off of the release paper right here. Oh, wrong way, sorry. You're going to take it off the release paper and just set it right on top of your design. Okay? And then give it a little rub. And you can even get your squeegee out if you want to. Now we're going to pull this back this way. And you see how my G doesn't want to go? That's okay. Because I'm going to come back here. And actually, I can't. Let me get that squeegee. I'm going to try to give him a little bit of a love so that way it's stuck down really well. And then we're going to try it again. If that G doesn't want to go this time, it's okay because I'll be there to meet it. With my stylus, I'm ready. If a letter doesn't want to stick to the transfer tape, that's okay. Now, this is not just anything. This is not just contact paper. It is transfer paper. Now, the Y of my daisy doesn't want to go. But can you see it poking? I don't know if you can see it right there. So what I would do is I'm going to lift it up and then push it back down. Okay, and then I'm going to keep rolling. So this transfer tape is sticky, but it's not so sticky that it's not going to come back off. And if you're not ready to put it on something today, you can put it back onto the release paper and you can use it later. But we're going to put it on. Now, I do suggest that you take, and I had just removed the film from this, so it should be pretty clean. But I do suggest for something that you really want to have permanent. How about the overhead? Is that going to be, oh, that's good. I don't like the glare. There we go. Okay, so take an alcohol swab or rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and clean this off so that way there's no fingerprints, but I haven't touched that, I don't think. So now what I want to do is just take this and center it, and I'm going to look. Oh, I'm not centered at all, am I? There's I forgot that I offset Daisy. So I want to center I want my G and my Y to be about the same distance from the edge. And I tried to line up this blue line with the words. So those should work out pretty well. And I got an air bubble there, so I'm going to lift that up and put it back down. And then I'm going to take my squeegee and really burnish my words so that way they're going to stick to the frame and no longer to the release paper. And look at that. The transfer tape is doing its job. Love it. There we go. Isn't that cute? Okay, now I do have, just full transparency, I do have a little buckle here on my S because of the way I held things, I think. So I can come in here, lift that up, and then come back with my squeegee and get that little air bubble out. It's all gone. And now we have a perfectly cute little frame, and it's even cuter than the t-shirt we were going to make. But let's talk a little bit about t-shirts. So it's going to be the same type of thing, right? You're going to mirror image if you're using heat set vinyl, right? And because when I printed this off, it was upside down, it was backwards, right? It was mirror image, and then I flipped it. When you heat set it, it flips it right way. Good course of practice is when you're working with a heat set vinyl is that you get the manufacturer's instructions on how long and at what temperature. A lot of products will even give you information about using a household iron. I don't prefer to use those because they have holes in them, and so you have spots that aren't going to get the even adhesion. So using a press like this that has the full solid sole plate is going to be a lot faster. It also has the right pressure, so it's going to take you 30 seconds to do a t-shirt on this, whereas it might take you 4 minutes with a household iron. So the other thing to do is when you're using a press is to pre-press your shirt or whatever you're putting the vinyl on for maybe 2 to 3 seconds. It helps get and I don't just mean iron it, I mean use your press. It helps get any moisture out of the shirt. It also makes sure it's nice and flat. So that way when you go and put on your letters, it actually will be in the right spot, and it will be, it will adhere because you got the moisture out of that. Another thing just to know, and because I've done a lot with heat set vinyl, if you're doing this for yourself or as a gift, make sure people understand they should not use fabric softener in the laundry with these, because the fabric softener gets into the fibers of the shirt and it will cause the adhesion to lift and go away. Not ideal, right? But this will last forever. Okay, so it lasts a really long time. Are there any other, would a Laura Star iron? That's a great question. Laura Star is one of my favorite things. You wouldn't use steam. It's going to be dry. And so if this is my iron, let's iron for a minute. If this is my iron, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to put your iron down and you're going to hold it for the 30 seconds or however long it needs to go. Now, one thing to know is that any steam holes or anything like that don't count. So then you have to adjust and you're going to re-iron again, so that way you're hitting the spots that you didn't hit when the holes hit it, right? And then you're going to move to the next spot, and you have to hold each one with heavy pressure for the full amount of time. So yes, it can work. If you want to do more than one item, you're not going to have fun doing that, okay? So I highly suggest you look at a press, whether it be the little one, the small one that we have, that's the moment, it's not quite this large, and it's a handheld one that's really nice. You can just put it on a shelf when you're done. It doesn't take up very much space, and if you're only doing it every once in a while. But if you're doing it more often, I highly suggest something like the Smart Press, because it's pretty amazing. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Oh, and thank you for that. Yes, this is how we learn. Oh my goodness, it happens, right? So since I saved everything in here, and actually I won't probably, let me see. Oh, I did kick it off. Oh, no, I figured out what the problem is, people. Okay. And we're back. Okay, so Since I did, oh my goodness, and it wakes up. Since I did do this and I saved it, right, I could probably just start right back up. So good practice. There's another lesson for us all. Before you go to do something, just save it, and then you can recall it and just start cutting right again, okay? And then you're able to be good and to go. And you know, pick up right where you left off. All right, so I hope you learned something. I hope you had a laugh or two at my expense, because that's what I'm here. I'm here for you, right? Okay, with that, I want you to join us next week. There's probably going to be somebody who doesn't have something crazy like they unplugged the machine, you know, happens. So anyway, with that, please, you know, if you have more questions, visit one of our stores or send us a note if you want. If you have any questions on anything, we're happy to see if we can do a video to answer those questions. But anyway, till next time, Reva, it's Reva, and I will see you later.